this is Rob Awahand. Today we're going to talk about the tools of critical thinking. You might be watching this for one of my classes, or you might have found this some other way. Either way, welcome, I'm glad you're here. And if you found this by a recommendation or from a search, I hope this is exactly the thing you're looking for. Critical thinking is a buzzword that we hear a lot these days. And that's great. It is important to have a lot of critical thinking in a democratic society. And if you look around right now, you see the danger of what happens if people stop thinking critically. People start to believe anybody who claims they're telling the truth. And a lot of the time, they're not giving better quality information. They're just talking louder. So how do we sort through which ideas to trust, which people to trust, and how do we test ideas to decide, is this idea strong enough to convince me? Is this idea strong enough for me to change my mind or change my behavior? And that's what critical thinking does. The problem here is that there's a little bit of confusion because critical thinking is not just one thing. Critical thinking is a set of different tools that you can use to look at an idea, to look at any idea. So when people say critical thinking as if it's one skill that you learn and then you know how to do it and that's it, that's not what it actually is. Critical thinking is a set of tools that you can use, and sometimes one tool is more useful than the other, and sometimes the other tool is more useful. Now, think about the old saying, Abraham Maslow said, I suppose it is tempting, if the only tool you have is a hammer, to treat everything as if it were a nail. English idiom has simplified that to say, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Imagine a construction worker going around with only a hammer in their belt. The floor is dirty, clean it with a hammer. The window has a grease mark on it, clean it with a hammer. Oh, there's a nail over there, hammer it down. As you can see, there's only one type of problem you can solve with a hammer. A lot of the time, this happens in other areas of life too. If somebody's a good fighter, they might try to fix all their problems by fighting. And when someone only has one intellectual tool, when someone only has one of the critical thinking tools, they will try to use it everywhere, even in places where you need more than one tool. Now think again about that construction worker. Their hammer has a specific purpose, and their hammer also has limitations. There are types of problems a hammer can't solve. If you only have one tool, you can only solve one type of problem. If you have 3 tools, you can solve 3 types of problems, and you can combine those 3 tools to solve a whole variety of other problems too. Imagine a construction worker with 20 tools in their belt. Well, there's a huge variety of problems they can solve and things they can fix or make or build or repair if they have 20 tools in their belt. And this is also true of thinking tools. So, in this lecture, just like one tool can't fix every problem, no thinking tool can unlock every issue. And don't trust people who say one can. There are a few commenters out in the world who spend a lot of time talking about facts and logic, when those are 2 useful tools. But if you forget the other tools, things like checking sources, things like examining context, things like exploring different viewpoints, if you put too much focus just on facts and logic, you might end up in a place that isn't actually very good. Try to look for thinkers who are using a variety of tools when they think about something. Having more tools means you're ready to think critically about ideas or issues or messages in more different ways. And these days we are flooded with messages. We're flooded with ideas of what's going on. We are flooded with people telling us how the world is, what's true, what's false, what's right, what's wrong. We need these tools more than ever. As we learn these critical thinking tools, as with a construction tool, having them in your belt is good. They only become really effective if you practice using them. A construction worker doesn't pull every tool out of their belt for every job, but they do know which tool to use for which kind of job. these are not the only ones. There are lots of other critical thinking tools that you can find. Don't stop looking, because there are others. The first tool we're going to look at today is, what does quality thinking look like? Now, Richard Paul and Linda Elder studied this issue, and they say that there are 9 intellectual standards that you can find in any area of thought. Some of these appear in other parts of this presentation because they're so important. Here are the 9: clarity, accuracy, precision, relevance, depth, breadth, logic, significance, and fairness. So let's look through each of those quickly. Clarity means, is something clear? Is it understandable? Do the explanations make sense? Do words have clear definitions that you can understand? Or are things confusing? Are there words that could be understood more than one way? Okay, that's clarity. It's not every idea is simple, but every idea can be explained clearly. Accuracy. Are the facts true? Are they correct? Are there mistakes, or are there distortions? Are they twisted? And somebody's saying, here's what the fact means, when that doesn't seem like what the fact actually means. Okay? When somebody's making mistakes, it might mean that they're careless, or it might mean that they are trying to manipulate you. Precision. How much detail are they giving? Are they saying things like, so many people think this? Or are they saying things like 85% of men and 72% of women agree, according to a 2015 study? Precision shows you that somebody has done their homework, done their research. Relevance. Does the information we're looking at fit the topic we're discussing? Does this discussion get us closer to the central question, to the key issue or the key problem? Depth. Does the person giving this message look deeply into the idea? Are they finding relationships, complexity, and connections? Are they finding the deeper, bigger ideas that the issue connects to? And another part of depth is, does the person recognize the areas they don't know? Here are the questions we don't have answers to, or here's the data we wish we had, but we don't. Okay, that's part of depth. Breadth. Breadth means looking at a variety of views. Different people, different groups have a lot of different ways of looking at things or see different sides of an issue. Is the writer that you're reading showing that they have learned what different people think about the topic? Does the writer seem willing to have their mind changed? Are they open-minded to new views? Logic. Do ideas fit together? Is evidence used properly? Do the conclusions that the person makes fit the evidence that they've given? Have they given enough evidence? Okay, significance is the next one. Significance means, is this issue important? Is there a reason to care about it? Does it matter? People who focus on the important issues instead of using unimportant issues to distract us, those are the thinkers that we should be paying attention to. Finally, fairness. When this person describing this message to you talks about other people's viewpoints, are they unbiased? Another part of fairness is making sure that we check about viewpoints that might be suppressed or ignored. There are always people in an issue who have more power, who have more ability to tell everybody their view, and there are also always people who have less power, who have trouble getting their view out in front of the cameras. A quality thinker is paying attention to who has the power and who is being ignored in order to make sure that we're looking at everyone's view, not just the view of the people who already have power. These are the 9 features of high quality thinking, and you can find them anywhere, any academic field. If you find publishing or presentations with these 9 things, you've found a quality thinker. And if you find that some of these are missing, then start to hold back some of your trust. And that will help you to recognize high quality thinking that you can maybe trust. Of course, these are things that you can look for in other people's work. They are also things that if you try to make sure that your writing, presentations, messages have these 9 features, this will make you a better writer, a better communicator, or a better thinker. This is the end of the first video of the tools of critical thinking. Stay tuned for the next one, and thank you for watching.